we can talk to Jonathan Russell, who works for Quilliam, the counter-extremist think tank. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're not convinced?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I welcome the shift in focus from countering terrorism itself to focusing on extremism. But I still think that the measures proposed that will be taken forward to the National Security Council today will tackle the symptoms rather than the causes of the problem. And I think the approach in tackling this issue is still off kilter.
I suppose the government would say you have to do both, and that this is doing something that hasn't been done for some time and needs to be done. Do you have specific issues about some of those things? I mean, for instance, extremism disruption orders where people are going to be banned from speaking in public, where they say things that undermine democracy.
Yes, so my issue is taking a legislative approach to tackling extremism, which is a very grey area. And the danger here that we negatively alter the balance between national security and civil liberties, between counter-terrorism and human rights, by clamping down on free speech, even if that speech is, as we have recognised, abhorrent to our values. I think it's very, very important that we find other ways, aside from our legislation, of tackling it effectively.
But what do you think the effect would be of doing it in the way that the government's proposing today, then?
Well, I don't think it will tackle radicalisation. I don't think it will change the numbers of people who are attracted to this poisonous ideology, and I don't think it will attack the ideology itself.
Well, they wouldn't be able to go to meetings and hear this stuff or have literature provided by these people. That's the point, isn't it? Particularly the disruption orders. You stop this stuff being available to such large numbers of people. Now, are you saying that as a practical matter that won't make any difference, or as an ethical matter it shouldn't happen?
Actually, on both. I think they will do exactly what they say on the tin. They will disrupt. But I don't think we should be looking solely to disrupt. And my issue is that we're not investing enough resources in really getting to the heart of the issue.
Which would be what?
Well, I think we've got to remember that extremism is like electricity. It will find the path of least resistance. It used to be mosques, it used to be schools, it used to be universities. Now people are looking at the internet and they think that is the problem. These are just vectors of the problem. We've really got to get down to tackling the process, and that means really tackling the ideology head-on.
How then?
Well, I think we need a lot more education in schools and educating our frontline workers, so our teachers, our university lecturers, our prison officers, our police forces, to tackle this before it becomes a problem. And that means doing more primary...
Again, what the government would say is it has become a problem. It's no, I mean, all of those things are fine, but we have a problem, and they're seeking to tackle it in a way that attacks it. And simply saying it's got to be done in prisons and schools, etc., doesn't tackle the problem that already exists with people who've been through prison, been through school.
Yes, well, I would say that yes, there is a role for disruption, but my problem is that too often over the last 10, 15 years since 9/11 tackling this, it's looked like whack-a-mole, and we've just changed the focus depending on what the perceived current nature of the threat is to be, without ever getting down to the heart of it. And yes, there is a role for disruption and making sure that extremists don't negatively alter our state, but we shouldn't negatively alter the fabric of our society when looking to tackle it either. And therefore, I don't think we need an ever-expanding legislation to deal with this. And what we really need, I think, is a lot more focus on engaging with communities, building resilience among our institutions and among our communities to prevent people getting further on to the curve of radicalisation, as I would put it, and addressing the ideology, addressing grievances that people might have, and providing some real alternatives to our young people, that 1,000 of whom have been convinced that it's such a good idea that they're willing to go and travel to Syria to implement it.
Jonathan Russell from Quilliam.